Hello and welcome to the 14th episode of the Adamola Bookman podcast, where myself, Alistair Bond, and my friend John Coughlin, say hi, Johnny.
Hello.
We review footballers' autobiographies. We read them so you don't have to. And for the 14th episode, we're doing Boring James Milner. Oh, hilarious Twitter account. You're right. This is one boring motherfucker. James Milner, what do you say?
Milner. Well, still the thing that comes to mind when I think of Milner, 1,000 years later, is the start, and being the youngest Premier League player. That's still the first thing that comes to mind. It's funny, really, because he was making a really good career, Villa, Newcastle, but then it kind of had an uptick, didn't he? Man City and Liverpool.
Well, I agree. And well, absolutely. I associate him with his beginning more than anything. There's always the hilarious. He's got 400 England under 21 caps.
Yeah,
But it does seem
46.
Yeah, 46. And you're right. He's linked with Rooney. Rooney was the Premier League's youngest goal scorer for a month, and then Milner came along and took it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's how I've always sort of associated him. And also, he does look a bit like Wayne Rooney, the same sort of similar build, stocky Northerners.
Yeah.
So I've always had them linked together in my way.
Yeah. How long has Rooney finished now? It's astonishing, really. Milner's still gone.
Well, that's something we can get onto, eh? His first manager for Leeds was
Terry Venables.
Terry Venables. Yeah, Terry Eltel, and his most recent manager was Robert De Zerbi, which really is a world of difference, isn't it? It's just a different world of football.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, wow. Do you think this book would have been better if they had just gotten the boring James Milner Twitter account to do the book?
I think this book would have been better if they'd got my 6-year-old daughter to write it. Just anything would have been better. I mean, it's a book predicated on, this is my opportunity to answer a lot of Twitter questions. And I can't think of the worst fucking reason to write a book than in order to answer bloody Twitter questions. So that's what it is. It's not an autobiography. It's called Ask a Footballer, which we failed to mention so far. And it is just a bunch of Twitter questions and also questions thrown in by, I don't know, whoever was co-writing it. Ollie Kay, right? Ollie Kay was...
Oliver Kay, yeah. There was a couple of questions from Jordan Henderson. Hilarious.
Oh, it's just so funny. Oh, God.
Yeah.
That was a little sop to the Liverpool fans, wasn't it? And here's one of your other favourite characters. Jordan Henderson. It's interesting to see how Jordan Henderson's reputation is from when it was written in 2019 to now.
But my God, this book, I couldn't believe how bad it was. I think it's the worst book I've ever read. Not even the worst book that we've done on this podcast, because I am a serial abandoner of books. When I'm reading non-podcast related material, if I don't like a book, I will ditch it so quick, like an old goddamn Christmas tree or something. But yeah, I had to stick with this, and by God, I actually did fall asleep. I was listening to it again, and I did fall asleep in parts, and I didn't go back.
Well, Johnny, I did ditch a book. I mean, a little insight behind the curtain. So we read these books we read these books 2 weeks in advance of the pod, and I got this book 2 weeks in advance. And I say book, pamphlet. It's about 260 pages. There's a lot of white open space in those pages as well.
7 hours of an audio book.
7 hours of an audio book. That's probably being read by a slow Yorkshireman, isn't it? But yeah, I think I put it away in about 4 hours. And anyway, the point being, I sort of did abandon it because I started reading it. I got like halfway through. I was like, fucking hell. Oh, it's so boring. And then I noticed on my Kindle, it tells me how much longer is left in the book. And it was like an hour and 40 minutes. And I was like, fuck it. I'm going to read it on the day so I can just read something in between. So I just polished it off today. I learned nothing. I mean, making notes is ridiculous. There's no notes to make. Oh, my tedious God. I mean, this is okay. All right. So,
Yeah,
James
like
Bloody Milner.
yeah.
You are
Look,
boring, James. You are boring. And I don't know, he leans into it. Like, isn't it funny that I'm boring? No, it's not. It's just boring that you're boring. You're boring. You're so boring. You're a
oh,
boring footballer. You were a boring footballer. You're always a boring footballer. Boring, boring. Whenever I saw him playing for England, it's, oh, God, haven't we got anyone better? Is there no one better than that? He's just such a bloody stopgap. And I do, I mean, I never felt badly towards him, but I now read his book. It's, oh, you boring, boring bastard. Like, just a jack of all trades, master of bloody none. I really hate him now for making me read his book. All right, anyway. So,
yeah,
should we start on the book? I don't know how you would start, but
yeah. Like I was thinking about how do you even like, like most of these books you can follow a linear kind of whatever the structure of the book is, but this is just a ton of stupid questions from Twitter. Can I read a couple of the notable questions just to give a sense of just how inane this is?
no,
So,
please do, Johnny, please do.
well, just before I get into the questions, were you hoping for some sex in the Milner book?
No, I wasn't expecting any sex in this book.
No.
I
Uh,
didn't get any sex. I wasn't expecting to get sex. He's with his childhood sweetheart, who, by the way, used to be a television makeup lady. That's what she was.
oh, okay,
Yeah, she's got an IMDb page. Amy Fletcher.
okay. Um, yeah, one of the things in the book was, I know that everyone thinks that footballers have this tremendous life and that the wives of footballers have a tremendous life, but it's quite difficult. It's really cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's difficult.
yeah. Anyway, let me give you some of these notable questions. How do you get to games on match day? Do you travel in your own car?
Well, I've always wanted to know that, Johnny. I've always, it's the big burning question and the question that people are afraid to ask. But
And
someone's had the audacity to ask it, and what's the reply?
um, well, yeah, that was the thing about like, regardless of how inane a question was, Milner just took it on like it was like a real thing to think about and to answer, and it was just, oh, yeah. I do think that Milner, perhaps more than anyone else, maybe this is not unusual in these books, but it came across more in Milner's book. I think some of these footballers, Crouch is another one, and maybe it's something to do with how these books are kind of laid out in a similar kind of fashion, right? In the sense that they're not kind of linear autobiographies. They're just trying to kind of give you an insight into the world of football, which Crouch does a lot better than Milner. But Milner, and to an extent, Crouch, I think they seem to think that footballers are like a separate species to the rest of humanity or something. Everything was well, like footballers, this is the perception of footballers. One of the things he said was like footballers can take a joke about most things. Such an odd way
Yeah.
of seeing the world. Anyway, whatever. Okay, some of the more inane questions. What song did you choose for the Liverpool team playlist? Al, do you remember the answer?
I don't, but it's James Milner, so I guess what, Coldplay? Or is it like just something incredibly Oasis? I don't know. What's the most tedious white boy band he can possibly pick?
No,
Is that one?
it's All of the Lights by Kanye West.
Um,
Because they walked out to that song, and that was one of Hendo's questions about somehow related to this. But it was, yeah, that was Milner's song originally. They all had to pick a song for the team playlist. Exciting stuff. Okay, here's another question.
I got ever so confused anyway. Like I read that and I was like, oh, Shining Lights by The Weekend. And I couldn't figure out how it was in 2019. All right, that's not a bad song, but
And the weekend song is Blinding Lights. Let's just be clear on that, Al. You big
okie
fat
dokie.
square.
I learned all the words to that so I can sing it karaoke for young people.
Apart from the actual title. Which app? Which app do you use the most?
Oh, I know this. I know this. And I tell you what, Johnny, he's just like us. They're just like us footballers because
Yeah.
I use this app as well. It's WhatsApp. He uses WhatsApp a lot.
You like Shazam? And then he explains what Shazam does. Thank
Oh, but
you.
it's an old one. It even says it's a bit of an old one for you kids. But Shazam are like so
Um,
useful.
what happens if you need to go to the toilet during a game And his response was, "Good question. Is it, James? Is that a good question? Um, this year, my team will make the jump to bigger pitches and goals. Do you have any advice that will help us handle the transition?" And Milner goes, "Oh, I assume you're that means you're moving up to under 13s." As this explains this fucking book. They're like 10-year-olds questions. That's why this book is so bad. And Milner, this the advice that he gives is, for strikers and wingers, it's quite good because there's more space to run into. But for defenders, it's harder to defend a big space. That was his advice.
But when he was a kid, he had to play on a full-size pitch. So
Yeah.
things have changed.
Yeah. And the last one, well, this one was just a bit of an outlier. Suddenly there was a question like, do you ever experience dark thoughts or anxiety? It would have been a real surprise to me if suddenly Milner just cracked open the cellar door into all of these really dark, intrusive thoughts or whatever. But no, he hasn't.
Well, sometimes he's sad when he loses a game of football, Johnny. That makes him sad.
Yeah. Oh my God. Anyway, Milner. Yeah.
I think every single one of these questions that are asked, Johnny, I could have answered.
What happens if you need to go to the toilet during a game? Huh?
It's best if you go before the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you really need to go, you need to run off the pitch.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's one point he says the players shit themselves on the pitch. But big surprise, he doesn't say who.
Yeah, like this is
when
the thing.
there's ever an opportunity for something mildly interesting. Obviously, I wouldn't give away a name like this in a book like that. Just fucking tell us, James. Give me something.
Yeah, my God.
It is a book written for children, and it's a book written for people who don't read, isn't it? Like, easy short answers, little short chapters, very digestible. I don't think any chapter, a chapter, any answer is more than 2 pages long, right? At any point, it's
on that he says somebody presumably from Scotland asked him, did he ever think about playing for Celtic or Rangers? And he's just the usual banal rubbish, and he's like, they never came up, blah blah blah. And his callback all the time is like inane references to Andy Robertson. He says Andy Robertson was released by Celtic. Oh, that was a different thing, sorry. But he says both of the teams are really big teams, but I wouldn't want to give an opinion on which one is bigger. No, you wouldn't, James. You wouldn't want to give an opinion on pretty much anything ever. It's just like, it really was. The only thing he felt strongly about was, he mentioned that his foundation is fighting to get dog dirt off pitches up and down England. That's the only thing he feels strongly about, it seems.
Not all heroes wear capes, Johnny. And there's one there, James Milner and his foundation. Sometimes they have big dinners, and sometimes he thinks, is it all worth it? But they have the dinner and they make some money, and apparently it is.
Milner seems like he's probably like a real decent fella, right? Like, he seems like decent, but extremely, extremely dull, unbelievably boring. Like, he's won the Champions League, and he continued. Like, can you imagine how boring he would be if he wasn't a football player? But I was reminded of, someone asked him another question about, what do you think about when you're going to move club or whatever? And he's like, I think about if it would be good for the family. And then I thought longingly of Zlatan Ibrahimovic refusing to go to the hospital when someone was sick because he just didn't like hospitals.
Who does, Johnny?
Anyway, like, how do we structure this one even? I got the impression that they were heavily influenced by the Crouch book, and the approach is essentially these different topics like teammates on the field, advice, life after football. But here and there I kind of managed to gather my notes under these, but oftentimes It was not a book that I was rushing to make a lot of notes doing,
Well, I mean, the notes. I mean, he just repeats himself again and again, like again and again. He must have said, I know we earn a lot of money, footballers, like, but you know, is it worth earning £200,000 a week if people are going to say you earn 200 grand a week? I don't know if he does. I know I earn 200 grand a week, but sometimes footballers get injured, and people say you're a waste of money. You're on 200 grand a week, and that really hurts me. Yeah, but you're still on fucking 200 grand a week, aren't you? People say things that hurt me. Oh, motherfucker. I'm in a hot fucking house. This book, just
Uh,
just rubbish. Just a total waste of my time. A total waste of my time. We should vet out these books more. Like,
I was like,
almost like I was kind of excited to read this. Oh, I wonder what James Milner does have to. He has nothing to say. Nothing.
I think it's the first time really that I was thinking, yeah, maybe I wouldn't like to be a footballer.
Not if
If
you're
you,
hanging around with this fucker. Honestly, he thinks like fucking Andy Robertson and Jordan Henderson are like the 80s cast of Saturday Night Live. I mean, these guys, oh, they're so great. I don't think so.
okay, what are the takeaways really from this book, right? Milner is obviously extremely dull, but he's extremely dedicated and professional to a point of being boring. So he says towards the end of the book, he gets a message from some old friend of his who asks him if how he thinks he would do playing Sunday League. And I think Milner is humble. Just very boring. But anyway, he gives a reasonably humble answer. But he says he's never played five-a-side with his friends. He says that I've heard about other players. I've heard about other players doing it, but can you imagine if he got injured? Like that's why he is now. Okay, question for you, Al. At this point, when he recorded this book, or when they did this book in 2019, he was sixth or seventh most or player with the most Premier League appearances. Do you know where he is now?
Ooh. Same place? No. Fourth.
No, he's second.
He's second behind
Yeah.
Gareth Barry.
Yeah.
He's played more than Ryan Giggs.
Gareth Barry has 653, and James Milner, the only current player in the top like a million, is only he's less than 20 behind. He's 18 behind 634. Gareth Barry, James
wow.
Milner, Ryan Giggs, Frank Lampard, David James, Gary Speed, Emil Heskey, that surprised me. Mark Schwarzer, that shocked me. Jamie Carragher and Phil Neville. Phil has played more
Phil
than
Neville.
Yeah, played more than Gary. There you go.
Oh, that'll be jiggered.
So to complete the 500 club,
Isn't it? Gareth, boring Barry. Yeah, okay, go on.
Rio Ferdinand, Stephen Gerrard, Sol Campbell. Paul Scholes is 499.
That's annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway, okay. So that yeah, just to say that he says, is there anything that you don't get to do as a footballer that you'd like to do? And he said, he said he's never skied. He's never jet skied because he might get injured. He says it's not exactly in the contract, but they do say you have to. Here's a fellow who's read the small print of his contract. He says he might skydive when he retires. How many tattoos has James Milner got now?
None?
Yes, he is none. That was one of one of Henderson's questions as well. It was about
nice one.
Yeah. And okay, will we just randomly go through some of the things that he says?
Yeah, you're not gonna get anything positive from me.
Yeah.
But let's do it.
You were saying earlier about how there was opportunities to offer a modicum of interest here or there, a crumb, but he would just not divulge the name, and therefore the information is more or less moot. So he told one story about a teammate of his who was out of favor and drove his car onto the pitch during training when everybody was out doing a training exercise and just pulled into the center circle. I think this might be made up, by the way, and just started talking to his teammate, and his teammate was like, what the hell? And then your man just turned around and drove off. But he just doesn't give the name. There you go, James. That was your chance to have at least one memorable thing in the book, but you didn't.
But if you don't ever give a name, you can make it all up, right? You can make it all up all the time. He says there's another teammate who he was out of favour with the manager and he just went to training. And if the manager told him to do something, he'd just boot the ball as far
Yeah,
away as he could. Like,
no name.
but again, I don't think it would be wise for me to give a name in a book like this. No, don't give any names.
Yeah, that's how you stay alive in the Premier League, man. You just don't give anything away. Did you enjoy the return of the coin game?
Oh, the coin game. But again, Milner's aghast at this. Like, he's like, can you imagine in the modern game if we were doing? Can you imagine? The cameras might pick it up on us.
Yeah, that.
I mean, to Milner, this 50p game is absolute Sodom and Gomorrah, right? It's insanity. You can't believe that people would do something like this. Can you believe what they would pass a 50p coin?
Yeah. So, in Crouch's book, he said that Milner was really funny. Is he taking a piss or what?
I think it's footballer funny, isn't it? It's like a good-looking girl at work doesn't have to be that good-looking. She just has to be a girl at work, and she's gorgeous. Like, it's like, oh, he's mildly amusing, hilarious. He's absolutely hilarious. Yes, footballer funny, right?
Yeah. Okay. And okay, do you remember who James Milner's showbiz fans are? No, sorry, showbiz friends, not showbiz fans.
Oh, bollocks. I didn't know this. Kaiser Chiefs? Yeah, he's friends with like the bassist in Kaiser Chiefs, isn't he?
Yeah, but much more impressively than that, he's friends with a certain
Cilla Black.
I'm going to say this guy probably falls into the rather large category of British national treasure, Gary Barlow.
Not have a fucking Gary Barlow as a national treasure. Fuck off.
Cilla Black.
He'd be an Irish national treasure, I'll give you that, Johnny. But I don't think he's an English national treasure.
Is Cilla Black considered a national treasure?
No, Cilla Black was a famous cunt. Did you know that? Like, interestingly, she was horrible person.
Oh, really?
Big
Cool.
Tory, a scumbag. Apparently, if you go on Reddit and like you look at air hostesses stories, Cilla Black was vile. Not even like difficult, but vile.
Go on.
Oh, I wish we'd read a book about Cilla Black.
Ollie Murs, who I'm only kind of vaguely up for.
I gotta tell you, Johnny, Ollie Murs could come up to me in the street and poke me in the nose, and I wouldn't know who it was. He's an X Factor guy, right? Or a Britain's Got Talent sort of thing.
Yeah, like he's a United fan. Gary Barlow is a Liverpool fan. He speaks Spanish. James Milner.
Does he speak Spanish, Johnny? Does he really speak Spanish? If by that token, I bet I speak French. You know what I mean? I bet he doesn't speak Spanish. He says he speaks to a kid. I bet he said "C" once, and it's like, that is funny. And like,
yeah,
Crouchy was rolling around on the floor laughing at like Milner speaking Spanish. Un cerveza, por favor. Look at old Millie. He's off again. He's hilarious. It's hot in here, Johnny. I'm in a bad mood.
You're in a foul humor. I'll give you two things that were approaching interesting stories.
Right.
One was, so he mentions maybe 10 times that he was nutmegged by Messi. Someone asked him, what player would you like Liverpool to sign? And he says, Messi. Messi and Mbappe, how boring. Anyway, he says, Messi nutmegged Milner. And then a couple of years
4 years later, right?
Yeah, Milner puts in a spicy tackle on Messi. And then they're going down the tunnel, maybe in halftime, and Milner kind of gives him a tap and says, are you okay? And Messi starts kind of mouthing off to him in Spanish, calls him a burro. Do you know what that means?
Don't care.
Yeah. And Milner is like, well, he obviously didn't realize that I speak Spanish. And he understood this.
Speak Spanish.
And then
I know the word for donkey.
But then he says that Messi said, you only did that because I nutmegged you. There you go.
Yeah, okay. Do you think Messi still thinks about Milner? It's like, that fucking Burrow. Like,
And okay, the other thing that was approaching interesting, because we knew, and maybe everyone knew this already, but he talked about playing in the game when Kieran Dyer and Lee Boyer famously fought each other on the pitch, and were both
the craziest game he's ever been involved
yeah,
in.
that's
It was pure madness. What's the nuttiest guy? Well, here's one for you. And he actually named names. I bet if I'd not been on the telly screen, though, he would have got away with it. Two unnamed teammates, who I shouldn't mention,
But
started
he,
fighting.
but he said
One,
he said they started fighting each other again in the changing rooms. There's an insight. That's about
yeah.
as that's about as close as it got to being interesting. And you know what was funny? He's recounting Souness's. Okay, like I say, Milner is. He seems like he's a decent fella, but he's just such a teacher's pet. It's so obvious that he's such a teacher's pet. So Souness, who was managing Newcastle at the time, comes in and he's like, "That's the most disgraceful thing I've ever seen on a football field." And you can just tell by Milner he was just there. Yeah, there's just nothing wrong. Totally disapproving.
That's right, Gaffer. You know, lads need to look at yourselves. Take a long look.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, that's that. Okay. Lucas Leiva tackled him badly once, and he
Yeah,
went,
that was something. That was actually, and he was annoyed at him.
but They later played together at Liverpool, and it turns out Lucas Leiva is a really nice fella, so he took him out.
So another great story. Oh, it's another good one. Let's list all the people who are good fellows. Who's a good
Yeah,
fellow? Bobby Firmino, good guy. Mo Salah, good guy. They're all good guys. Everyone's a good guy. Andy Robertson, great guy. Jordan Henderson, great guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
God.
He says twice in this book that he prefers round studs over blades.
They rotate in the turf so you don't
They
stick
turned into
something.
turf. You could hurt yourself. You could hurt yourself. And
But
he's also like he's such a teacher's pet. Someone asks him about like who's the best manager he played under, and he essentially names them all as being great. But he talks about, yeah, I'm also good friends with the staff around the lowly staff.
yeah, every tedious box is ticked, eh? Every right answer is put there. Like,
Yeah,
well, oh, how do you feel about people approaching you in the street? Okay, right. I don't need to read the next thing. Like, if you approach and you're polite, that's fine. Don't shout at me first or abuse me because I won't want to. Please don't approach me in a restaurant if I'm busy with my family. But if you do, I'll try and look after you afterwards. I could have written that chapter. I could have written it. Oh, I know what he was going to answer, and he did.
yeah, they could have trained an AI to do this book, all right, for sure. He says at one point that when he was at City, he was playing with Tevez, and Tevez refused to come on as a sub. He'd fallen out with Mancini. Milner was on the bench. And then he says, still to this day, I don't actually know what he said. Oh,
But you fucking speak Spanish, you cunt. You keep telling us, you liar. You fucking liar. You liar. What is it, Milner? So do you speak Spanish or not? Or at this point, oh, I couldn't understand him calling Mancini a fucking cunt. I couldn't understand that. No, I don't know what happened there. By the way, Tevez, what a player, by the way.
But
Great
that was
guy.
it. He says, he just like pulls straight out of it, says, what a player Tevez was. Come on. John Woodgate, funny. We've heard that before. Put grasshopper eggs in Michael Chopper's car.
Oh, I mean, yeah, astonishing. He actually named names there. We got both there. Oh, that's all right, fine, isn't it? Yep, that's all right. Put some
Yeah.
grasshopper eggs in a car. I'm all on board with that.
He's
It's better than
asked
shitting in a shoe, isn't it?
he's asked who's the most vain person in the Liverpool dressing room, and he says, like, I don't want to say.
God, imagine if that got out. Like your career
Yeah.
would be over.
I'll ask you a question in the style of an 11-year-old Twitter user, and you
Oh yeah,
answer it
okay.
in the
I'll
style
answer
of
it in the
a
style of Milner.
of Milner. What do you think of VAR, James?
Uh, I don't like it. I think it takes away the excitement from the crowd, and we need to be careful about that because it takes a long time. And also, what people don't understand is while they're reviewing it, players' legs are locking up, and they're more
Mm.
likely to get a sprain or a tear.
And the
So,
fans. Let's not forget the fans. The fans don't like it all.
well, the fans are the most important thing about the game, and we always have to remember that's why we're there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm with him with the old VAR. It is shit, but like, every
Yeah, well,
single answer would expect. In all honesty, actually, Johnny, I'll take it back. I thought he said he was going to like VAR. I thought he said I thought he was going to like it. To
Well,
be
that's
honest, I thought he'd be more. I thought he'd find it more important to get the right decision than anything else.
I just told a line because this is one company man. This guy,
He certainly is. Yeah, you'd
like,
employ him, wouldn't you? I mean, that's the truth. Like, if he came to a job interview, you'd be saying, "Get this young man on board. He is
yeah,
serious and focused."
maybe not a front facing role.
No, no, no. He's going to be doing the administration, isn't he? But you know he's going to get it done. He's going to answer your emails.
Who's the most intelligent footballer? Did you know the answer to this? Would you have guessed this answer?
Who was the most intelligent? No, I wouldn't.
Vincent Company. You always hear this about Vincent Company.
Do you always hear that about Vincent Company?
You know what
This is
improved?
revisionism, isn't it, Johnny? This is big Bayern Munich getting to you like, oh, I always knew he was a genius.
No, it's because footballers, English footballers, but just obviously just English speaking people. The thing that I think terrifies us most is people who speak lots of languages. And in this one, footballers are no different than everyone else. But it's always that, isn't it? When, like, he says that Company speaks 4 languages fluently. He says that Simon Mignolet speaks 4 languages fluently. He says Divock Orivi, all of them Belgian, speaks 4 languages fluently. They're the things that seem to impress people, broadly speaking, I think, but certainly footballers. But you always hear that about Company, I think.
Well, it always just seems with foreign footballers, they're so much smarter than English footballers, but that's just because they have to speak another language. Right? I was like, look at him, he speaks 2 languages because he plays in England. He has to.
Not Carlos Tevez.
Well, that was a deliberate refusal, wasn't it? That was on political grounds. Like, I won't speak a word of English until the Malvinas are restored to Argentina. Like, I'll show him. I'll put pressure on the UK government. But that's it. Being smart as a footballer, it's one of those, though. Hey, if you got like an A level, if you got an A grade at GCSE and woodwork, like you're known as a professor, like at football teams. Although he got better GCSEs than me.
Yeah, I don't really understand GCSEs, but that's like, how old are you when you do your GCSEs?
16.
And then there's like A levels. Is that immediately after GCSEs? How does that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Straight after.
And so does everyone do the A levels, or did some people stop at GCSE?
Yeah, people stop at GCSE.
But you're obliged
to do GCSEs, or you're obliged to be educated to be 16 or something, right? I think that's.
But he got a stack of A's, right? He did well.
No, he did. He got really genuinely pretty decent GCSE results.
Who's your least? I'll ask you a question to a student, James Milner. Of all the teachers in school, which one did you like least?
I liked all my teachers and respect them. It's a difficult job at a difficult time.
Were there any redeeming features to the book, did you think?
No. He refers a lot to picking up slips off the floors, and I've always been confused by that. It's like,
me too.
Young players have to pick up the slips and the socks. Is this a ladies' dressing room? I've never been entirely sure what a slip is, even in a female context, but I'm even less aware. Is it your underpants? He keeps talking about picking up slips, and if only kids had to do that now, everything would be better. Like,
yeah, what's a slip? It's like, also, what's a jockstrap? That's another one I never really understood. Are they related?
I don't know what a jockstrap is.
What is what's a jockstrap?
It's like a big sturdy underpants, like.
Okay, it's kind of got like a cup in it.
Yeah, I mean that's when I'd wear one for cricket.
Oh, cricket.
Wear a jockstrap. I don't think I ever wore one for any other sports.
Or just generally.
No, James. Only in a sporting context, jockstraps. But yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, he has to pick up their slips. That's their underpants, right? Is it?
Yeah. Did they wear special underwear?
Slips. Sexy. I don't know. Slips to me conjures up images of like a 50s American housewife. Like, I imagine that Lucille Ball was wearing a slip. I still don't really know. I thought maybe it was the underskirt. Like, I don't know. But anyway, the reason he's such a good footballer is when he was a kid, he had to pick up all the slips and socks of the Leeds United players.
These days, that's an expression that comes up a lot in that book. These days. They don't have to do it these days. These days, they should have just...
No, sorry, John. I'm just going through my notes. Like, I say there's no funny moments. Let me take that back. Like, Milner has a house in Spain, and he can go on runs from his house in Spain. One's quite steep, and one's not as steep. But he likes a steep run because it's good for his fitness. But check this, Johnny, right? He was going on a run once, and a dog barked at him, bit him, and he ran away, and he fell over and scraped his knee. Yeah, that's that got it into the book. That what do you have to fucking cut out? And then he's like, oh, I told Jordan Henderson, Andy Robertson, they were falling over laughing at this story. Like a dog barked at me and I fell over. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So good.
Yeah, God Almighty, God help us. Anyway,
I mean, that was one of the better stories. That's what he's got.
I think that was one of the lead stories. I think it might have been the first story in the book. Likes golf, unsurprisingly.
He occasionally sleepwalks. Once his mum went to look for him in his bed, but he wasn't there, and he wasn't in his sister's room either. He was downstairs watching a Nirvana concert, totally out of it. Gets into the book. That gets into the book.
Yeah, and I think the most surprising thing there that it was Nirvana. that's the only bit that's the only bit that's interesting.
Yeah, who should he have been? He should have been fucking who did that Two Princes song? Like Spin Doctors. That's who he should have been listening to. Nickelback.
That's sure enough one. Spin Doctors. Yeah.
All right, here's another one. Before they played in the Champions League final, they were all a bit worried about Ronaldo. Actually, this is maybe a bit better. Klopp comes in and goes, look, I'm wearing Cristiano Ronaldo underpants. And they all relaxed. He's a genius. Look at Klopp, it's magical. Oh, we're so nervous about this game, Gaffer. Don't worry, guys. I've got my Cristiano Ronaldo underpants on. We can all have a laugh. Let's play.
That was marginally more interesting.
That was actually, that's about as good as it gets, right?
Yeah.
Kloppy. I mean, like, give me Klopp stories. He doesn't give us any Klopp stories. He respects it, though.
The manager.
Yeah, when you listen to the book, is it him reading it?
No, and I can't remember, like it was some actor, and literally would laugh and guffaw at questions. That's a good one.
Spoiler alert, folks. None of those questions are good. None of them.
Anyway, okay. Well, so the question, how are we going to rate this horror show? Slips?
Yeah, picked up slips. Well, we're not picking up many slips here, Johnny.
You didn't like Wenger. I thought it was okay. We both didn't like Drogba. They were both way better than this. Yeah,
they were. I mean, that's it. I thought, for me, Wenger was the worst. Just
still.
Well, no, because at least it did tell a story. I mean, I learned some things about him. I genuinely, literally learned nothing about Milner here. Nothing at all. Just nothing.
Yeah. Oh, the only thing we learned...
I didn't know his wife was called Amy. But this is the kind of stuff that I learned. Just facts and figures. I'd be tempted not to give no stuff because I could read it. It's not... I wasn't offended by it, but it would be one slip. And it would be a dirty slip, Johnny. I would give it one soiled slip.
Yeah, I don't know if you can give 0, can you? So I'll give it 1, but or can you give 0? Fuck it, I'm giving it 0. That was an absolute horror show of a book. I think I would have been, if I was offended by a book, it would have been at least some emotional response.
Well, that's true. Yeah, you would have felt something.
Yeah, you know the book. You know the book In Cold Blood.
Yes.
I hated that book, and it's because I had such a reaction to it. It was just so bleak and horrible that two people could just do that for this, for the sake of it. But it really had an effect on me. This was just nothing. Nothing.
You see what you've done, Milner. Now we're talking about fucking Truman Capote. I mean, I read that book when I was younger, and I was unaware of its accused of being exploitative, right, in True Blood. And it was the beginning. I enjoyed it at the time, but I was young. I was like in my early 20s when
I read it when I was about, I think, 22, 23. Yeah, same. I hated it, but because it was just horrible. But
Well, it
that
was horrible. It was obviously, very.
Yeah.
But I didn't hate that book. I'm going to say, Johnny, that In Cold Blood by Truman Capote is better than Ask a
Better.
Footballer.
Better.
James Milner. I think it's a better book.
Hands down better
Store
book.
this for future human. If one book is to be saved for future human consumption, I would make it In Cold Blood by Truman Capote over
If
Ask a Footballer by
if
James
it ever
Milner.
comes to a situation where we have to do one of those time capsules and they have to put in one book and the two options are James.
Well, you're going to be screwed, Johnny. Oh no, which one? Which one will it be? Ask a Footballer. Yeah, think of that. Like, what future generations can learn from this?
There we go. Don't ever read this book.
Oh, look at him here. Like, here's another fucking highlight as I'm just flicking through. I like a bit of Chris Brown, a bit of Ed Sheeran, but I listen to absolutely anything. No fucking kidding, you can't. And Hendo knows as well as I do that all the lads like a good sing-along to Westlife. What fucking lads? It's 2019 when he wrote this back. Westlife hadn't been a fucking concern for 15 years.
Yeah, but come on.
You all
They're
like
timeless.
a good sing-along to what fucking pussies are they? I remember when I went to university and I played football at university and I had a mate, like a bunch of mates, and he was the first lad. And it's like, we went to his room in the halls and he's like, "You like Westlife?" It's like, yeah, I do. So you're 19 and a man. You like Westlife? Yeah, what's wrong with that? And it's like, the first time I really had my eyes open. Really people like this in the world. People my age.
And was there a poster?
I mean, no, it wasn't a poster. But you imagine, like, oh, the new single's coming out. I've got to get down to our price. Have you got Flying Without Wings by Westlife in yet? Thanks. One copy, please. Is that for your girlfriend? No, it's for me. Unfucking believable. They are a different species, maybe. Or a different species to me. Oh, God, here's another one, Johnny. What sportsman does he admire? What fucking sport? I mean, this. What sportsman do you admire?
Tiger.
Oh, yeah, fucking Woods. Course fucking Tiger. Fucking tedious, cunty fucking Woods. Oh, what a big fucking surprise. Oh, you like Tiger Woods, do you? You boring cunt. Oh, did he really revolutionize golf? Did he bring lots of people to the game? That's important. Fuck off. Making golf bigger is a sin. Don't make golf bigger. I don't want fucking more people playing golf. Every single more golfer in the world is one more fucking twat. Thanks, God. Tiger. Oh, he likes Tiger Woods. Twat.
Yeah, he says that Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain met him and said he was very nice. So, like, Milner's book, it's like stories about the 50p game used to exist. And he didn't take part in it. He just heard that used to be a thing. A fella at Leeds shat his pants, but that was before he played for Leeds, doesn't name him. And one of the people that he knows met Tiger Woods and said that Tiger Woods is nice. Yeah, there's not much to this book.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, Al. Well, we can probably.
No, I'm going through it. Like, I'm looking at my notes. We play cards a lot at Liverpool, but generally we're playing for trumps or hearts, and it's only for bragging rights. Liar! You're a liar. You're not just bragging rights. Hey, Trent, I beat you at cards earlier. Oh, yeah, you did, you fucking prick. No, you play. Oh, just every. Oh.
You haven't done a Milner impression. You don't do Leeds is not part of your repertoire, no? You don't do Yorkshire.
I can do Yorkshire. I'm comfortable to me, but I don't know. Does your Milner sound like this? Does it?
I don't know.
No.
Anytime I've heard him, he's been speaking Spanish.
Which he speaks fluently, by the way. Understands the word for donkey. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this is the worst we've read, right? This is the worst.
Oh yeah. This is an absolute. Like I kept just like telling my wife about it.
Because Crouchy's book was insubstantial.
It was insipid, but there was a couple.
There were moments of amusement, right? There was something to hang your hat on.
Yeah.
Like Drogba's book, I didn't know anything about Drogba's early life.
Yeah, there was.
And I learned that Drogba likes to dance and he's a spiritual man. I learned that Wenger only managed teams in red and white, but I learned nothing. He likes fucking Westlife.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Tiger Woods. It's early 20th century twat. Who are your favorite things? Westlife and Tiger Woods. You and me are never gonna be friends. We're not gonna be friends, you fucking dick.
Liverpool should sign Messi. Anyway, okay, well he's only 38, Al. He'll play until he's 40, that lad.
Yeah, I look, he played 15 times at Brighton last year, which is pretty good going.
He'll have to do more than 15 next year if he wants to catch. Like, he's not going away. He wants to catch Gareth Barry. He needs 8. He needs 19 appearances to beat Gareth Barry.
Would I want Forest to sign James Milner next year?
You have to
I
be
would.
you have to be his player liaison officer. That's part of the deal.
Well, it'd be easy, wouldn't it? Very
Yeah.
easy.
I suppose it would be.
He seems low maintenance enough, right?
Well, he says he just says he does whinge, but it's a sign of his professionalism.
All right, let's not fucking grant him any more time. We've done it.
Yeah, okay, that's it. Okay, Al, what are we doing next?
Hang on. Sorry, Johnny, I've got another quote here. Sorry, just flicking through. Who are big pranksters? I've seen a lot of pranks in my time. Let's just say a few of them are probably best not mentioned in a book like this. So why bother? Why bother?
Yeah, well, that's
all right.
it.
Yeah, okay. So one filthy, shitty slip Milner has to pick up off the floor at least. Well, he doesn't have to pick it up anymore, does he? Kids don't, and that's why everything's gone to shit.
Yeah, I would say I'm giving him 0, absolutely 0. This is the worst book of all time. It's an absolute horror show.
You know, that's not the consensus online. Like, you go Goodreads, excellent book, really interesting. Oh, an absolute must for any fans of Villa, Leeds, and Newcastle. Like, fucking hell, you've never read a book in your fucking life, have you?
Yeah.
Man, if I gave you Patrice Evra's book, it would rock your fucking world if you read this. Like, you think that's a good book?
Yeah,
well, it's shit. Now, just read an average book, you're gonna fucking love it. You get to fucking In Cold Blood by Truman Capote, it's gonna fucking your head's gonna explode, mate. Honestly.
Ever's book is like the Harry Potter series.
Yeah. It's magical. All right, so yeah, fuck you, James Milner.
Okay, so Al, from Milner to another Yorkshireman.
Oh yeah, another Yorkshireman, proud Yorkshireman.
Yeah.
Just a better Yorkshireman.
Yorkshireman. Neil Warnock, the gaffer. The trials and tribulations of a football manager. Neil Warnock impressions ahoy, I suspect. All right, well, we are the Adamola Bookmen podcast. We soldier on even after that abomination from James Milner.
Well, I think just like our namesake, it's a slow start, but the Adamola Bookmen podcast is just moments away from a hat trick in a European Cup final, right? The whole world knowing our names. Got to be good for the brand, like old Lookman doing great.
A rising European tide lifts all Adamolas.
We got a perfect 10 out of 10 from L'Equipe. We're only the 17th podcast to do that, so well done us.
Is that he got a 10 out of 10 from L'Equipe, and he's only the 17th player ever to do that.
Only 17th player, and like 10 of them are real like weird obscure players. Like when it was kind of bullshit. Like there's only like in the modern age, there's only been like 8 or 9 players.
Wow, that's fun, isn't it?
I'm really pleased for him.
Yeah.
I don't know why, just because we named that podcast after him. I had no real affection for him before.
Okay, well, let's leave it there, Alistair. We are the Adamola Bookmen podcast. Thank you, Alistair. Thanks again to Dara Fenland for the music. Oh,
well, everyone says this. If you do happen to listen, please review us on iTunes and the like. Anywhere you find us, please. It really would help.
Spotify,
please tell your friends.
iTunes. By the way, Al, I have an album coming out.
Johnny.
Well, my band. Yeah. Maybe I'll play. Maybe our band will play out this week's.
Oh, no kidding. Well, what an honor that is, listeners. Like, you heard it here first.
Yeah, check out Soselo Summer. Here we go.
Next week, I'm going to sing a cappella. on the back end of the podcast.
Is it going to be Westlife?
It can be, absolutely.
Yeah,
I don't know
all
any
right.
other songs other than Flying Without Wings. I'll do that bit where they stand up off their stools and the girls go mad, eh? That's
I
what they
think
used to
that's
do. Four of them just sit on stools and then be like, I'm flying. And then it'll stand up like, you know, look at this, they're standing up now. Sexy.
yeah, that's every song, I think.
All right, I wonder how much sex is going to be in the Neil Warnock book. Our Sandra loves to give a blowjob, and she has an excellent technique. I don't know. You never know. Maybe old Sandra Warnock loves giving out.
Okay.
All right. This is all James Milner's fault. And the heat. Our Sandra loves to take it in the rear. Now I enjoy this too.
Thank you,
All
Alistair.
right. Thank you, Johnny.
Take
And
care.
thank you very much for listening, folks. God bless.
Thanks.
We'll do a better book next time. It's got to be better.
Thanks. All right, Al, that's it. Yeah.
Cheers.
Daylight haunts me, jagged blues cut me happy. Moving slowly, digest forms always swirling. Take my whole being, take my thoughts to the last act, the last act, the last